asked me, he was like, we was just talking on the phone, to burn up the time. And he said, where are you close to? He said, I'm close to the Mississippi River. I'm like, yeah, Mississippi River. It runs down through Illinois, all the way to the tip of Illinois. And I was like, and I was wondering, where does this river go? Because I've looked into this river before, but obviously there are some things that I missed. So he goes on to say, okay, tell me something. I was like, what? He was like, look this up. Where does the Mississippi River begin? I was like, that's a good question. So I go through the thing trying to highlight and look where the river goes. And there was so many little rivers and stuff. I'm like, I can't keep up with this. And he was like, no, look up the whole map. And so they can show you exactly where it starts, where it begins, and where it ends. And I was like, I know it dumps into the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, I was almost sure of that, right? So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead on and look it up. So I look it up, and it says the Mississippi River began at Lake Itasca. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it says it begins there, right? So I look up this map, right? This map is by wikimedia.org, okay? I had read, before I looked at the map, that parts of the Mississippi River runs into Canada. I was like, that's not what I just saw. Okay, what I just saw is started at Lake Itasca, okay? So I'm like, that's not making sense. So I look at it, and then I really, really look at it, all right? And it's like something was just coming off the pages. I looked and I was like, I'm seeing something, and I focus in, okay? So this is the map, okay? So I focus in, I said, like, you know what? These rivers are part of the Mississippi Great River. So before that, I told him, I said, it's saying that the Mississippi River is like I think the 10th or 15th largest river in the world. I was like, how is that? I was like, it's a big river. Have you ever crossed it? I'm like, that's a big river, how is that? And so I go in and I just look, and he was just there on the pages. I'm like, you know what? And he's on the phone like, what? I was like, all these rivers, Mississippi River runs not only north and south, but it runs east and west. And I'm like, so that's over here where I circled it, is where it runs into Canada. It's going into Canada, right there. So I'm like, oh, that's where it goes into Canada? Then this whole thing is the Mississippi River. So why are you naming all of these other rivers connected to this big main line of the river a different name? And then I pulled back some more. This is like a big tree. And then, you know what just came up in my mind? The tree of life. The tree of life just came up in my mind. I said, it's like the branches. It's going east and west, north and south. I'm like, this river is bigger than what they're saying. They never told me this in school. But it starts at Lake Itasca and runs down to the Gulf of Mexico. And it runs a little bit into Canada. I never knew that. This river is larger than... It runs all the way to some of these east states and Midwest. I mean, this is a big river. But the reason why I never thought about it, because they named all the other rivers a different name instead of saying, this is all the Mississippi River. Have any of you all ever known this? Or is it just me? But I never really looked at it that way. And I was like, this is the tree of life. And it just was in my head, the tree of life. I was like, water is life. So this river is maintaining life all around North America that was tripped out. And I just wanted to share it with you. I was like, I got to share this. I have to share it. And I just wanted to share this with you all. And let me know if you knew that or you was thinking the same thing and never really looked into it.